It was a rainy Friday night when I noticed him for the first time. I had just moved into a new apartment 2 weeks earlier, one-bedroom place on the second floor of a small building. Not fancy, but cozy. A big sliding glass door in the living room looked out over a small courtyard shared by the complex. That night, the rain poured steadily, blurring the view like a foggy dream. I was working late on my laptop, the TV playing something in the background, when I caught movement outside. I glanced up. A man stood in the courtyard, near the far wall, just standing there. No umbrella, soaked. His face was tilted slightly upward, as if staring at the building. I leaned toward the glass. He didn't move. I waited, thinking maybe he was a neighbor, or maybe someone got locked out. But something felt off. The way he was standing, too still, too intentional. After a minute or two, I looked away. When I looked back, he was gone. I didn't sleep well. The next night, around the same time, he was there again, standing in the same spot, same posture, soaked, staring. But this time, he was facing me, right at my unit, at the glass door. I turned off the TV and stood slowly. He didn't react, just stood there, arms limp at his sides, rainwater pooling at his feet. I watched him for a long time. Then, just before I reached for my phone, he walked away, disappearing into the darkness beyond the courtyard lights. I didn't call the police. I don't know why. Maybe I thought I imagined it, or maybe I didn't want to explain it without sounding crazy. But I kept the lights on that night. Sunday was quieter. I didn't see him all day. No rain either. By nightfall, I told myself it was probably nothing. Some guy passing through, maybe a lost tenant or someone drunk. At 11:34 p.m., the rain started again. At 11:42, he returned. This time, he was closer. Instead of standing at the far end of the courtyard, he was halfway across, still, watching, like he'd moved forward just a bit each night. And for the first time, I could see his face, or rather, the lack of it. His face was wrong, blurred like a bad camera image. No detail, no expression, just pale skin, smeared shadows where the eyes and mouth should be. I backed away from the glass, and that's when he moved, a single step forward. I closed the curtain and locked the door, heart pounding. I paced the apartment for hours, checking the door over and over. But when I finally opened the curtain again, he was gone. Monday, I went to the building manager, told him there was a man hanging around the courtyard at night. He checked the security footage. At first, I thought maybe I'd finally get proof, but there was nothing. No one in the footage. Not on Friday, not Saturday, not Sunday. Just grainy video of an empty, rain-soaked courtyard. I asked him to double check. He said, "I did. There's no one out there." That night, I didn't open the curtain. Didn't want to see if he'd gotten closer. But sometime around 1 a.m., I heard a sound that made my stomach turn. A slow slide. The sound of the glass door opening. But I had locked it. I knew I had locked it. I shot out of bed and ran into the living room. The curtain was still closed, but the air felt cold. I grabbed the curtain and flung it open. The door was open by 2 inches, just enough for someone to have slipped inside. I turned every light on, searched the entire apartment, checking closets, behind the shower curtain, under the bed. Nothing. I locked the door again, double-checked it, sat in the corner of the room until the sun came up. The next morning, I bought a metal rod for the sliding door, jammed it in place. Ordered a camera too, one of those indoor ones that records motion. That night, I checked the door at least a dozen times. The rain came back around midnight. I didn't open the curtain, but I watched the live camera feed on my phone like a hawk. At 2:13 a.m., motion detected. The alert popped up and I tapped it immediately. The feed opened, and there he was, right up against the glass. His face nearly pressed to the door, pale skin distorting against the surface. No eyes, no mouth, just that warped gray flesh. His hand lifted slowly, dragging fingers down the glass. The metal rod didn't move. The doors stayed closed, but on the feed, the camera glitched. Static, then clarity, then more static. And for half a second, the image showed him inside the room, just standing in the corner, watching me. Then it cut out. I yanked the rod out and threw the door open. No one there. The rain blew in, cold and sharp, but no footsteps, no trace. I left that apartment the next morning, packed the suitcase and drove to my brother's house in the suburbs. He didn't ask questions, just gave me a place to sleep. That night, it didn't rain, and for the first time in days, I slept. I thought maybe it was over, until the next week, when it rained again. I was alone in the house. My brother and his wife had gone out to dinner. It was around 10 p.m. when I got the notification. Motion detected, living room camera. I froze. That camera hadn't been set up in my brother's house. It was from my apartment. The feed was still active, and I watched as the door, the sliding glass door I had locked 100 times, slowly slid open. Rain blew in, the curtain fluttered, and then, from the edge of the frame, a pale hand, followed by a blurred face. He stepped into the apartment, slow, calm, as if he had all the time in the world, and then he turned, not toward the camera, but toward me, as if he knew I was watching, and he smiled. Or I think he did. I don't really know, because the feed cut out. I haven't opened the app since. I don't look out glass doors at night. And I haven't slept when it rains. Because now, I don't think he's tied to the apartment. I think he followed me. And if you're watching this, if it's raining right now, check your windows. He gets closer every night.